Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because hitting the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm, okay? Also, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscription button, okay? Um, yeah, so that you can get the notifications and all of that good stuff. They still been kind of messing with my numbers, but they don't believe fat meat greasy. But hey, we have to deal with that until they deal with that. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about JoJo Splat and Straight Drop. Okay. And when I was sitting here thinking about JoJo Splat and Straight Drop, and I always say that it is important. Okay, you guys know that I am a investigator, right? A real investigator. Okay, not not a YouTube investigator. I do investigative work. That's my profession. Okay, and I I started thinking about this situation. And the thing about it is, I know with the Young Dolls case, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I'm not working on the Young Dolls case. Um, I know persons that are, okay, rather it be MPD or um, the DA's office, okay? Um, and I do know that the feds is on the case also. They have been on the case, okay? But I got to thinking about, with all of the stuff that has been thrown in the mix, sometimes it's so easy for all of us to get confused, for everybody to get confused, right? Um, and that's why I always say it's always good to go back to the beginning because the reason the investigators and the agents are as far as they are today is because of what happened in the very beginning. And I know they've tried to scrub a whole lot of stuff. They've tried to remove a whole lot of stuff offline. They have computer techs that have been hacking and that work with them and things of that nature. They're gonna be okay. Anyways, and but the thing about it is they already had this stuff right. I think a lot of it now is just to try to save image. Just why you know that a lot of people that was involved in this is in the music industry because of what is still happening. That's how you know that everybody that was involved has not been gotten. Yeah, right. And for the most part, like I said, we saw JoJo Splat and CEO Bobby and Straight Drop and all of them. Okay, you have to think about when Straight Drop, before he was arrested, there was still a whole lot of stuff going on. Okay, okay, there was still a whole lot of stuff going on. Hold on, something. I'll answer that in a minute. Okay, and people were still being, killed and things of that nature. When hey, um, and that text message kind of threw me off balance. Um, when Straight Drop was out, okay, so you have to think about now. I got to thinking about anytime we do a vlog on JoJo Splat on certain ones, um, there's some motion. There's always some motion, right? So I was thinking about JoJo Splat. Y'all know I'm getting hip too with the slang words and stuff. Okay. So JoJo Splat and Straight Drop. What's JoJo Splat and Straight Drop promised a record deal, okay? Because we know that that Straight Drop right before Doc was killed, Straight Drop was hanging around Moneybagg Yo's artist, right? He was hanging around Moneybagg Yo's artists. I've spoken about this in the very beginning. And I think I said, even when they had their hackers trying to delete information, we still have recordings of my stuff. That's how we knew they was being deleted, right? Because I wasn't on here all the time, right? And so, you know, I was saying from the very beginning, I said, you guys, you all don't find it funny. That was like last March of last year, okay? That Straight Drop was in Indianapolis. I always felt that that was strange. Just from what my cousin, who was in Indianapolis, police lieutenant, had told me about the arrest in Indiana. I mean, in Indiana, I say Indianapolis, in Indiana. And I said, y'all don't find it strange that he was in Indiana. And I kept saying, figure out who Straight Drop would have a connection to that has ties in Indiana. Okay. And you'll be able to find some answers. Okay. So I think I had always put that into the atmosphere. And of course, you know, people started to figure out, you know, once I kept throwing out hints, Zachary Randolph, you know, was from Indiana. He's from around Fort Wayne. Um, and I kept saying I felt like Straight Drop he was in the state that he was going to hide out in. Okay, somebody was gonna hide him out, right? So I'm not saying that Zachary has a you know that he had anything to do with this, but maybe he wouldn't have had a problem with aiding and abetting, right? For somebody else, okay, like Moneybag or something like that. You know, I don't know. But you know, what's JoJoSPLATT and Straight Drop offered, you know, record deals, because then after that we started seeing JoJoSPLATT. It was almost like people started gathering around him. A lot of his little dudes, what he was up next. But what happened was, it seems to me that he started having breakdowns because the feds started getting on top of his head. They didn't know how closely they were being watched, right? And so I have to say, even being a mother, when I saw him on that and people got mad at me, child, I just cuss him out and keep going. Um, you know, when he was on that on the porch and he was shaking like a leaf, y'all, I don't care what nobody said, that hurt me. That hurt me because at that point I was able to, even though what JoJoSPLATT and them did was wrong, they got to pay for what they did, because JoJoSPLATT and them had, you know, okay. And so even that hurt me, because what I saw a young man, because he was 18 years old at the time, that uh had been misguided and had been misused. Okay, because you have to think about, when you start having these dudes in their late 30s and 40s, a 18-year-old is still basically a jelly brain. Even though they know right from wrong, they're a mush brain. Okay. So they still, meaning they still have to develop. They're very easy to manipulate. Although they think they're street savvy, these street dudes that are in their late 30s and 40s and stuff can run circles around them as far as thinking, right? They ain't even experienced enough of life yet. 18 years is not a long time. Okay. He might be like 20 now, 21 or something like that. But during that time, that's how old he was, right? And so it appears, just based on, I want to show you all this, okay?
Shit. Hey, I probably come to New York sign a deal.
First day, like, y'all go drop. I'm telling you, shit finna run up.
Tell you. Talking about come to New York.
They like those train boats. You see that, Joe? They like them train boats. Like, shit got bought over here. Like, shit got bought over here. Them hoes legit, family. No count. That's a 5-finger discount off a rapper neck. Off a rapper neck. It's that one. The fat one. It's that one.
Say bye bye. Them folks did not say dog. I ain't bought shit. I stole it. Shit big out too.
Down, AG. Stupid ass.
Everybody can cash out on the chain. Y'all just gave
Nah, man. What's up, good folks?
What's up, good folks?
But they going hell.
Hey, Dusty.
What's up?
What's up? Don't follow Dusty.
They pushing.
Tell a big double arcade 5 days.
Mr. Walk him down.
We like Soulja Boy for the toy there.
Like Soulja Boy for the tour there.
What Soulja Boy?
Big Draco.
Big Draco on there.
Big Draco.
Hey, tell everybody
no
go tell Soulja Boy. Everybody tell Soulja Boy to
Fuck Soulja Boy. Everybody tell Soulja Boy, nigga, tell me I said, fuck him. Nice.
Fuck.
Scratch Soulja Boy. Scratch the shit out Soulja Boy. We gonna have a big soldier time. Big Draco time. What you mean, nigga? Crash? Crash? What you
Like
mean?
that big Soulja Boy, dog.
It's Crash, I'm saying this.
Stop capping.
Like that guy put out there.
Man, y'all tell Big Soldier till we said fuck him for tag. Fuck him.
You high hell, bro.
Man, y'all cut this.
Don't tag Soulja Boy on the gun, though.
I told them for tag Fox 13. Yeah, nah, we said tag Soldier Boy, not them folks.
Hey, them folks tag the news in this shit.
Them folks tag the news in there.
They pushing.
Like bullshit.
Major.
That's the wrong one.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Fox 13.
Okay. Hey, for real, we don't know who killed dog.
Oh, God.
Yeah, y'all keep running me up. Y'all keep running me up, bro, but I don't know.
I don't know nothing about that, though. Long little dude.
I don't know nothing about that.
Brian, why ain't smoking, dude?
He said something about Bang Wayne.
I got the views on my store.
We smoking cookies.
Fuck got me
Fucking
50K.
cookies.
Yeah, my will. Don't sign me. So my will sign me. I'm turned up like that. Folks feel me like that. Fuck that.
When they started tagging Fox 13, they kind of got some act right there. Their tune kind of changed. Y'all can see that with your own eyes and hear that with your ears, right?
Are you kidding him, boy?
I
pump gas with this Drake out. So bad,
What you will on that? I ain't never lacking. I'm pumping gas with my guns.
No, he will gay. They ain't never lacking. He pump gas with his guns out.
They said he pumped gas with his guns out. They keep saying that. We were, they keep putting emphasis on that particular verse. He pumped gas with his guns out. Maybe they talking about I don't know. But, I started thinking about when Dolph was at the gas station, but they didn't pop him at the gas station, though. They didn't shoot him at the gas station. I don't know. These kids silly. You always go back to the beginning, and this is how they've been able to start piecing together stuff and breaking folks down and getting as far as they've gotten now. Not just because they are speculating, but because they was able to go back to the beginning and piece stuff down before they paid their folks to start scrubbing stuff. They can't scrub nothing from the FBI anyways. Right now, what they're doing is trying to do damage control so that those that are still out that pay for this hit can make money. That's all. Okay, because if they don't scrub it, then the public starts to look at them some kind of way. As long as they can keep the public confused, they can still make money. I know exactly what's going on. Okay.
I think my Draco might be gay. Blow in what you say?
You ain't got order that food.
Stop.
What the fuck is that? Yeah, what?
What the fuck is that? Nope.
What the fuck is that? Green.
Oh, we smoking cookie pack.
Hard on my nose.
Okay. So everybody in that particular video is everybody is good to pay close attention to, right? So then I'm not going to be able to play this, but I do want to show you guys this. So we started seeing, him like a kid would. It was funny in the beginning, but what started happening was he started having like little breakdowns and stuff. And um hey, because I think at one time, when he was talking about people didn't love me, he felt like somebody was talking and throwing him up under the bus. Okay. That's exactly what was going on. I think they all kind of got afraid of each other at some point. Um, but anyways, I want to show you guys this. Although I won't be able to play the music or whatever. He called himself is a rapper. Wait a minute. We started seeing he started dropping videos, and it takes money to drop videos. He did a video called Free Straight Drop Live Performance, okay? And they're on some street in South Memphis, you could tell, live from the trap. It don't have no credits or anything like that on it, okay? I think it's sad because you could look at these kids and tell that they are, none of them are over 21, 22 years old. It's sad, okay? That they're out there. They got all these weapons and things of that nature. That one right there look just like straight drop, huh? I'm looking at something. Wait a minute, look at that. I'm looking at them. They better keep their asses off my videos trolling too. Okay. But he went on to do cut a video later on. I'm trying to see when this video was cut. June 6th of 2022. They waited a little while. Then he started doing videos and things of that nature. He did that video, and I think he might have did another video too. Okay. But it appears to me, and then he started being on Facebook. Okay. I guess he up under another name. I guess he felt like that's when he was having those emotional breakdowns and things of that nature. And then after the emotional breakdowns, after that was over, that feds probably went back up underground. And that's when you started seeing him flying back and forth to LA. I know flights and stuff to LA is not cheap. So it made me wonder. You started seeing his appearance change. Like you could tell he had on more expensive clothing. So he had gotten some money, right? You started seeing him doing interviews when people would start talking about him. Those very same trolls, they go at you more, they go at people more about JOJOSPLATT than they do CEO Bobby. Okay. You could tell they really ain't giving a damn about CEO Bobby. It's always straight drop and JOJOSPLATT. Okay. So that's why it brought me to the conclusion. Normally, where there's smoke, there's fire. And these kids are too stupid to, excuse my French, because I be hating to talk about kids like that, but they too stupid to really throw you off too much, because they've been the ones to lead the feds and stuff directly to them to begin with. Okay. So was they promised a record deal? We know now we're 99.99% sure at this point, okay, that Straight Drop was promised a record deal. And we're like 7% sure that JOJOSPLATT was promised something, because JOJOSPLATT had started getting something. Who was going to see when he was going back and forth out there to LA? Whose house was he going to? Because we know it, there was rumors and stuff in the air that nobody was to have conversations on the phone, that they was to meet the big dog in person to get their assignments, to talk about stuff, especially when I think, when the feds start to let up a little bit, that's because they go back up underground. People start, thinking that the coast is clear. But one thing for sure, what these folks don't understand is while they are out ruining people's children, okay? Because those are kids, and they some nice looking little kids too, okay? That could have easily, if they got a talent, that could have easily been nurtured, right? But if they had anything to do with Young Dolph's murder, we already know they're going to jail. And so people understand that I have a soft spot for young adults because I've always counseled with young adults. That's what I started out doing at the prison, counseling with young males, okay? Young males that didn't have any guidance, that had already been traumatized. So when I speak about them, I speak about them from that standpoint because these were kids that was in jail that was already getting caught up in doing heinous stuff because they had OGs that was sending them out because these OGs are completely screwed up and twisted now, right? They like destruction. They just too coward to do it. So they send somebody else's child out to do it because they don't give a damn about nothing, which is why they need to be dead. Okay. Anytime you helping to destroy a community and a generation, we ain't got no place for you up here. You need to go on back to hell where you came from. Right. But what's JOJOSPLATT and Straight Drop promise record deals? I believe it. I believe it. I'm gonna go ahead and step on out there on the limb. Normally, when I step on out there, it is because I have been led to that by credible sources. I got a firm foundation to hold me up on my word, and I can step on out there. It ain't come from no internet garbage. Okay, it comes strictly from me knowing some stuff, right? And I can step on out there and say, yeah, okay. So, like I say, it's always good to go back to the beginning. I hate this stuff happen. I hate that these kids was put up to do this garbage that is going to ruin their lives. They ruin Young Dolph's life, okay? They ruin Young Dolph's children's lives, his family's life. They took him away from his craft, and he could have probably ultimately helped them to create generational wealth for them. Because I'm gonna tell you something, when these record companies now and labels offering these little dudes something, if they got a talent, they hijacking them. They making sure they rob them blind, and they leave them out there broke, busted, and disgusted in the very end. Okay. So what's JOJOSPLATT and Straight Drop promise deals? I believe so. Straight Drop, they thought that they had immediately started putting Straight Drop out because they didn't know. They just didn't know. But they knew in about 30 days, didn't it? They knew in about 30 days because around December the 15th, Thaddeus Matthews got the drop from the DA's office because I remember him saying it, that there was an indictment coming down for Straight Drop, and they got mad and started threatening the man. But guess what? Didn't he get indicted? Okay. Didn't he? And then there was rumors about JOJOSPLATT, but they talking about the Walk Me Down gang. You hear folks saying that slow walk them now. They didn't understand that the feds and stuff were the real slow walkers, right? They didn't understand that. Hold on one second. This phone gone crazy. Okay. That they were the real slow walkers. They didn't understand when they were saying the Walk Me Down gang that the feds was walking them all down, and still is. Okay. I found that interesting. I always say this, go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. We saw them showing chains. They were very jealous too. I think what these older dudes did was because JOJOSPLATT and them, they might have had some type of disdain for Young Dolph them, but it all started when people start to throw gasoline on a fire, like what these old dudes do, these old OGs. And these kids think that they're going to be rewarded for something. Okay. It starts to kick up smoke. Okay. It starts to kick up a blaze. And that is exactly what happened. They thought that they was going to get something out of it. Instead, they're not getting anything but life in prison. And it's unfortunate that they interrupted Young Dolph's life, and now their lives are going to be interrupted. Some of these kids don't even have children yet. And some of them won't get to have any. Okay. And that's the reason why I say go back to the beginning, forget about, all of this crap that they pay these folks to put out if you want to know the truth. If nothing else, if you don't have to believe me, you don't have to believe nobody. Just sit still and wait for it to all come out. Just don't let yourself get too emotional, because I promise you this case is already solved. These folks already have solved this case. They just slow walking them down because they the Walk Me Down gang. the federales, as Coke figures say, the federales, the ABC boys, they the real walk me down gang. If you don't believe me, you ought to see the ones that they got out there. They come from near and far, okay? And it's not just the feds. They got other federal entities working with them. It goes to show how deep this thing is, right? But anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. Make sure you hit that subscription button, hit that like button. Now watch and see what they do when I put this video out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch the comments, okay? Talk with you later.